Ahead tonight, the governing party pitching its future plans for the island of Eleuthera. And coming up in sports, we've got a recap of the RBC National Swimming Championships. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles, and welcome to the weekend edition of The Bahamas Tonight. Thanks for joining us. We begin this Sunday with news from Eleuthera. Investment on that island has been stagnant for a long time, but the nation's leader had some good news, especially for the people on the mainland. The Prime Minister's announcement came as he addressed the Progressive Liberal Party's All Eleuthera mini convention yesterday. Julian Reed was there.
Harbor Island and Spanish Wells, two islands that are part of the Eleuthera chain, have good economies. But things haven't been so rosy for Eleutherans on the mainland. Prime Minister Perry Christie, however, says things are about to get better. He outlined several projects that would positively impact the island. In the north, the Royal Island development, which was started during the PLP's last term in office but floundered, is being resurrected.
We are satisfied from an investment point of view that there is sufficient dynamic activity that Royal Island will soon surface as a source of investment and a source of jobs for people in that part of Eleuthera.
More activity in the north, however, means that there will have to be an expanded and modernized airport, something Prime Minister Christie says the government will make happen. Gregorytown is now seeing benefits from the Cove Resort. Further down, Hatchet Bay used to be an area that contributed to Eleuthera's once prosperous agricultural industry. That industry is expected to be revitalized from work being done in Andros at the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, which is already yielding significant benefits.
I don't understand why anyone in this country would believe that my government will launch an institute in Andros that we are going to allow to fail. But I don't understand how the leader of the opposition, who comes from Andros, who knows or ought to have known that the last 5 months, for the first time in the history of North Andros, over $1 million was being deposited by the administrator down there and revenue earned for the central government because of the new economic activity that the government has put down there. But this institute is supposed to ensure that islands like Eleuthera have successful agriculture. Let me tell you.
And while second homeowners are beginning to impact areas like Palmetto Point and Governor's Harbor, in South Eleuthera,
the Sarmiento development, and we have had the promise from the Sarmiento family for now 2 decades almost. But for the first time, it has reached a point where one of the world's leading hotel companies are involved in the process. That is the Four Seasons. And for the first time, the government is on an active basis discussing and settling the approach where they're talking about construction starting early next year.
Also expected to be open for business next year, the Cotton Bay development. The Prime Minister also confirmed that the mini hospital is about to be built, and he said he wanted to see and would provide resources for improved sporting facilities for young Eleutherans. Now, although Harbor Island has its share of high-end tourists that help bankroll that economy, the Prime Minister says that residents there too can expect to see improved infrastructure. Julian Reed, ZNS Network News.
Worshippers at the St. Barnabas Anglican Church on Wolf and Blue Hill Roads getting some useful information on disaster preparedness from the Prime Minister this morning. The nation's chief thanked National Emergency Management Agency and National Disaster Committee officials for their stellar performances and commitment to help keep the Bahamas safe during natural disasters. He explained some of the recent challenges the country faced during last year's hurricane season.
Last year, the Bahamas was spared from the impact of hurricanes. However, we did suffer from severe flooding in eastern New Providence, Pinewood, and Exuma, where many individuals' crops, homes, furniture, and valuables were either damaged or destroyed. It was through God's grace and mercy that there were no serious injuries or loss of life. This is one of the countless reasons as to why it is only fitting that we start our Disaster Preparedness Week off with a service of thanksgiving.
The Prime Minister went on to announce NEMA's 10th annual Disaster Preparedness Week under the theme, A Comprehensive Disaster Management for a More Resilient Development of the Bahamas, a Good Investment. He also highlighted some of the threats the season brings while reminding Bahamians that the duty of preparation lies not only with NEMA.
NEMA alone cannot keep the Bahamas safe from disasters. It also takes properly informed and prepared communities to do their part in helping to reduce the impact of hazards that are associated with disasters. Your commitment to your community and our commitment to each other will determine our ability to recover, mitigate, and rebuild better and smarter.
Only a few hours left until voters cast their ballots in the 2014 local government election. It's been exactly 18 years since local government was established in the Family Islands, and it's played a leading role in managing the affairs of various districts. And if you didn't know, local government elections are held every 3 years. Well, voting starts in all Family Islands tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp. The polls close at 6 p.m. Parliamentary registration officials confirmed to ZNS that 54,148 Family Islanders will vote in 32 districts tomorrow. That number comprises 19 districts where council members will be elected and 13 town committee elections. All ballot boxes are ready at all Family Island police stations. Presiding officers will be conducting elections, and they then will have to report to the returning officers, who are the island administrators. Now, once the polls close, the results are faxed to the Parliamentary Registrations Department's headquarters on Farrington Road here in New Providence. And we understand that it takes about 2 to 3 hours for the unofficial results to be released. Now, by law, a recount is held the day after the elections, which will be Tuesday, June 24th, to provide the official local government election results. We encourage you to tune in to ZNS Radio and Television Network for local government election coverage. Well, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell recently opened the new Bahamas Embassy Consular Annex in downtown Washington, D.C. The foreign minister indicated government's intention to stimulate national growth and development by creating synergies amongst Bahamian nationals both at home and abroad, particularly by utilizing and accessing business professionals and entrepreneurs, leveraging and harnessing their skills, partnerships, and talents through greater networking opportunities and business ventures. Minister Mitchell said it has been decided that as a result of the increased migration patterns of Bahamians in the United States, there is a need to bring more focused attention to the system and use of honorary consuls. All right, well, still to come this Sunday, a group of American college students spending quality time with special needs children. We've got that and more in a moment.